Hello everybody and welcome back to the van and welcome back to the channel. My name is Reese, and tonight as we are sat here in the van, we're going to talk about expectations, life chapters, people's expectations of you, where you should or shouldn't be in life at certain ages, all of that, because we all go through these kinds of thoughts and we all go through these kinds of pressures. And the reason why I'm talking about it is partly because of this van. Because, I'm 31, I'm going to be 32 in less than a couple of months. And, as I've moved back in this van for over a month now, I've reflected on, where I'm at in my life, the chapter I'm in, comparing it to the chapters of other people, playing that dangerous game of comparison that some would say is the thief of joy, right? And, man, I've had some peaks and I've had some valleys with thinking about this, but I'm going to kind of just give you some of the conclusions I've arrived at. Whether you're in a similar situation as I'm in right now, you're either thinking about moving into a van or whether it's a van or just some other major change in your life, managing your own expectations alongside other people's expectations. I think that when it comes to the debate, right, between other people's expectations of where you ought to be in life, society's expectations, right? If you want to think bigger, versus your own expectations up here, I think there actually is a clear winner. And what matters is just your own expectations. It doesn't matter what society thinks you should be doing at whatever age. It doesn't really matter what your friends and family think that you should be doing. What ultimately matters is what you think you should be doing. And to elaborate on that, there's a bit of nuance, obviously. As long as what you are doing in your life is not actually hurting anyone or like hurting you in any immediate, very obvious way, like doing drugs in a gutter on the side of the street or something like that, then all bets are off, man. If you want to do it, do it. But the problem is that society and your friends and your family, the way that they talk to you about, you're 30 and you're moving into a van, or, oh, you're 25 moving into a van, or you're, 20, you're 35, 40 going back to school, or, oh, you're doing this or doing that. It doesn't matter what it is. And they kind of give you the side eye. They kind of, try to discourage you a little bit. Doesn't matter. It really does not matter, man. It doesn't matter. It really is incumbent upon you to manage that pressure and build a sort of callus against it. Because if you're not careful, you will be entirely subject to the whim and fancy of these people who may actually love you, but they ultimately want to keep you safe more than they care about letting you explore your full potential. I think when we love something, our instinct is to want to protect it, to keep it safe from any potential harm. But it takes a mature mind and spirit to basically understand that if you really do love someone or care about them, sometimes the best thing that you can do for them is to let them explore the world on their own and maybe skin their knee a little bit, maybe get hurt, maybe go through it a little bit. But to coddle and to overprotect and not let this person that you cherish come unto any harm whatsoever, that actually does them an extreme disservice. So I think, since a lot of us don't have this perspective, they don't have this kind of advanced level understanding of how, someone should experience life, most people then default to that protective instinct to go, maybe you should go back to school. Maybe you shouldn't be moving at the inside of the van at your age. Are you sure you want to move to that state? You got a lot of friends and family and safety net here. What's the theme between those things I just said? It's protection. They just want to keep you safe. They don't want to see you hurt because that hurts them. But again, like I just said a moment ago, you can't live your life fully protected all the time. Life carries with it inherent risk, because life is just a series of risks, some bigger than others. And inevitably, you're going to get your knee skinned, and you're going to get some cuts and bruises along the way. That's how life is supposed to be. But in our current society that seems to want us coddled at every single turn, our current society that wants to keep us comfortable at all costs in kind of a dopamine cave of just numbness and distraction, society itself encourages this safety-oriented, protective, almost maternal instinct in the general population, so that they give crap advice, basically. Their advice is only to protect the ones they love and mitigate rather than embrace this idea of risk. So that's the conclusion I've come to when it comes to assessing what you should do in life, where you ought to be or where you shouldn't be. Dude, you are right where you need to be. That's the answer. Okay? You are right where you need to be. And it's okay, whatever that looks like, even if it's not the greatest situation, so long as you were the sole architect and captain of that ship that brought you to where you are. Because you never know when things are going to turn. Even if it's bad right now, even if you're still working out the kinks, say, in your van, brighter days are coming, man. As long as you keep steering your freaking ship and you are the one doing it, you have full accountability then over what happens. And that sense of accountability is actually extremely precious. There's a certain confidence that comes with that, knowing that you are the one fully responsible for your fortune or your misfortune. That's something that not a lot of people talk about, but it kind of goes back to what we were saying. You, at the end of your life, one of the most underrated things that people want to realize, and I guess this was immortalized in that Frank Sinatra song, My Way, but which I have problems with that song, believe me, but the gist of it, right? This idea that when you hit your deathbed, it's not just this idea of not wanting to have regrets. You know, you want to have as few regrets as possible, but it's this other idea of that you were fully in control. You were in charge. Everything you did was your shots being called. You don't want to reach the end of your life and feel like you were beholden to someone else's shots, someone else's desires, someone else's plans for your life. You, like Sinatra sings, want to feel like you did it your way. And that's it. That's it. So even if the chapter of life you're in feels like it's behind or feels like it's not as advanced as it could be, you know what I mean? That could take a number of shapes and forms. What the ultimate priority, the number one priority at the root of it all should be, did I lead myself here? Am I the architect of this plan? Did I bring myself here? If the answer is no, you know what to do. You need to correct course and do something else. If the answer is yes, you still can't fail. You still can't fail. Good. You brought yourself here. Hang on to that. That is precious, more than you'll ever know. Okay? So the conclusion, and I guess I'll close with this, is that you really, it's that easy. You can't really do any wrong, really. If you ask yourself that base question, did I bring myself here or did someone else bring me here? Again, if someone else brought you here to this chapter, this place, you go, that's not right. What do I want? And then do some searching and then take action on that. If you brought yourself here, good. You're walking a path. Thank God. Thank God. That means you are walking a path. Wherever it goes, it's going to go. But you're at least walking something. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't say that they are walking a path. a lot of people in this day and age are completely stagnant. They're neither dissatisfied nor satisfied with where they're at. They just feel numb and distracted with the everyday annoyances and bread and circuses of life. They don't feel anything. They don't feel anything at all. They're like that person who's not in the arena in that Teddy Roosevelt saying. You want to be the man in the arena. You don't want to be the spectator who enjoys neither victory nor defeat. A lot of people are just spectators to their own lives. You need to understand. You need to, excuse me, got something in my throat. You need to understand this. A lot of people are spectators to their own lives. So wherever you are in life, if you brought yourself there, you are the man or the woman in the arena. That's what matters. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know if what I said made any sense. I'm going to watch this back. Hopefully it made sense. Felt like I rambled a little bit, but let me know what you think. I would love to have this discussion with you. Let's have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one.